OC had been sitting in the lobby of the Aldercrest Meridian for 11 minutes, waiting for her husband to finish parking the car when she noticed the woman at the front desk. She noticed her the way you notice something that doesn't quite fit the picture, not because the woman was out of place, but because the man behind the desk was treating her as though she were. The woman had arrived quietly, one leather carry-on rolling behind her, a slim portfolio tucked under one arm. She wore a charcoal blazer over a cream blouse, her hair pulled back, posture the kind that doesn't ask permission of a room. She looked, Carla thought, like someone who had walked into a great many lobbies and found them all more or less the same. The concierge, his nameplate read Preston, gold letters on black, had looked up when she approached. Then he had looked back down at his screen before she even reached the counter. "Afternoon," the woman said. "Renee Morrow, I have a reservation." Preston tapped at his keyboard. His expression was the careful blank of a man performing a task he found mildly inconvenient. He tapped again. Then he exhaled through his nose, the small sigh of someone delivering news that in his view was not really his problem. "I'm not finding anything under that name. Confirmation number is AMG 7741RM, the woman said. Her voice was even, not loud, not strained. Even Preston tapped the screen for a moment longer than the task required. "Our system is showing that reservation was canceled." "When was it canceled?" "It doesn't give a date on my end. Does it show who initiated the cancellation?" Another beat, shorter. "No." The woman, Renee, set her portfolio on the counter with a soft click. She did not raise her voice. She did not lean forward. She simply waited, the way a person waits when they are not afraid of silence. "I didn't cancel it," she said. "I'd like to speak with your manager." Preston's chin lifted slightly. It was the faintest thing, a degree, maybe two, but Carla saw it from across the lobby, and she understood it. It was the look of a man deciding how much of his patience he was willing to spend. "I can certainly get someone, but I want to be helpful here before we go that route." He turned toward his screen again and began typing with new purpose. "There's a Holiday Select about 4 blocks from here. I can check availability if you'd like a comparable rate. And we can look into what happened with your booking. I didn't ask about another hotel. Of course. I just want to make sure you're taken care of." Behind Renee, a white couple in their 50s stepped to the adjacent position. Preston's face changed, loosened. He raised a hand toward the second attendant, and then, when she didn't look up in time, leaned slightly sideways himself. "Mr. and Mrs. Fairview, welcome back." He produced their key cards from a drawer that apparently required no typing. All. Carla's husband, Dennis, had come through the revolving door and found her in the sitting area. He started to say something about the parking structure, and then he stopped, because he could see from her face that she wasn't ready to be talked to yet. "Carla, just a minute," she said. At the desk, Preston had returned to Renee. He was speaking in a lower register now. The conciliatory murmur Carla recognized from years of watching institutions manage people they'd rather redirect. She couldn't hear every word, but she heard "our policy," and she heard "without a confirmed booking," and she heard with a clarity that surprised her. "You might be more comfortable somewhere that—" Renee stopped him. "Tell me your cancellation policy for reservations under the Meridian ownership block." Preston paused. "I'm sorry?" "The ownership block. The standing reservations that come through the property management office on the 14th floor. Cancellation policy for those. I'd like to hear it." A stillness came over Preston's face that was different from the careful blankness of before. This was the stillness of a man recalibrating. Carla stood up. She wasn't sure, afterward, exactly why she stood up at that moment. Dennis looked at her. She looked at him. Neither of them said anything. "I'd need to speak with a senior manager about that," Preston said. "I know," Renee said. "That's what I asked for 4 minutes ago." 2 other guests had turned now. A young man near the concierge stand with his phone in his hand, a woman near the elevator bank who had stopped reading her paperback. The lobby was not loud. It was paying attention in the particular way that lobbies pay attention when they sense that something is happening that they are not sure they should be watching. The elevator to the right of the front desk opened. A man in a navy suit came out at something between a walk and a run. Not a run. Precisely, but the stride of a man whose next 30 seconds had not gone as planned. He was mid-50s, silver-haired, a meridian pin on his lapel. His face was arranged in the expression of controlled urgency that general managers wear when their board chair has not yet appeared in the third-floor conference room, and the board meeting was scheduled to begin 6 minutes ago. He saw Renee Morrow at the desk. He stopped Mrs. Morrow. He closed the remaining distance in 4 steps. I apologize. I came down myself when the office said you hadn't. He stopped again, as though he had just registered the full geometry of the scene in front of him. Renee at the desk, confirmation number presumably still on Preston's screen, her carry-on still waiting beside her. Mrs. Morrow, he said, more carefully this time. Is there a problem with your check-in? Mr. Hale was telling me, Renee said, that my reservation appears to have been cancelled. The GM, his pin read Victor LaSalle, general manager, looked at Preston. His expression did not raise its voice. It didn't have to. Preston had gone the color of the marble countertop. Preston. LaSalle's voice was quiet and level. Miss Morrow is the owner of this property. Her name is on the deed. She holds the founding charter of the Aldercrest Meridian Group, which owns this hotel and 11 others. He paused. Please locate her reservation and complete her check-in. The young man near the concierge stand had not put his phone down. The woman with the paperback had closed it. Carla's husband, Dennis, had his hand on the back of the chair she had been sitting in, and she realized he had been standing beside her for some time. Preston's hands moved on the keyboard. Whatever had made the reservation invisible to him 60 seconds ago apparently no longer applied. Here it is, he said, barely above a murmur. Suite 1402. I apologize, Miss Morrow. I don't know how I'd like my key, please. He produced it. Both hands. She took it with one. LaSalle stepped to her side and spoke quietly, gesturing toward the elevator. There was nothing theatrical about any of it. Renee picked up her portfolio and her carry-on and crossed the lobby at the same unhurried pace at which she had entered it, and the lobby watched her go, the way people watch someone they have only just understood they have been underestimating. Carla sat back down slowly. Dennis sat beside her. Did you see all of that? He asked. I did, she said. They were quiet for a moment. Through the glass front of the hotel, the afternoon went on. She never raised her voice, Dennis said. No, Carla said, she didn't need to. Later, she would learn that Preston Hale had been placed on administrative review that same evening, pending a formal HR inquiry into the incident and a broader audit of front desk check-in records. She would learn that Victor LaSalle had issued a written apology to Renee Morrow before dinner, and that the Aldercrest Meridian's check-in protocol had been overhauled before the end of the week. A new policy requiring every reservation query to display the guest's account tier and booking source before any denial could be issued at the desk. She would learn, too, that the board meeting on 8th floor 10th AC lasted 2 hours and ended with a vote to expand the Meridian Group to 4 new properties. That Renee Morrow had chaired it, as she chaired all of them, from the seat at the head of the table. But sitting in the lobby that Tuesday afternoon, Carla Osi didn't know any of that yet. What she knew was simpler, and it stayed with her for a long time afterward. She had watched a woman stand at a desk and be told, through every means, short of words, that she did not belong there. She had watched that woman hold her ground without anger, without theater, without a single concession to the smallness she was being offered. She had watched the truth arrive, quietly and completely, and she had watched the room decide. One turned head at a time. Whose side it was on. It had always been on hers. It had just taken the room a little while to know it.